As a boy in Kansas City, he was called a piano prodigy. Playing music, he said, was like having a conversation with God. At 20, he moved to LA to chase his dream, and he hit it big. Earning 4 Grammy Awards, his collaborations with top artists in almost every genre catapulted him to the top. His career on fire, deemed one of the most sought-after producers in music. Until the headaches began. Few knew how sick he was or why he checked out at the peak of his career. He kept it a secret that he needed a transplant, that he struggled with suicidal thoughts. It would be his brother that saved him and a loving new family that urged him back. Today, Brian Kennedy is back not only making music, but hits that heal. In his nonprofit Hits to Healing, he's on a mission to use music as medicine, promoting health equity in our most marginalized communities.
Feels so good.
And launching a new anthem and a new movement.
Everybody needs a theme song.
4-time Grammy award-winning producer, writer, composer Brian Kennedy, a comeback story like no other. He is the subject of today's LA Stories Revisited. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a really special edition of LA Stories. I'm Giselle Fernandez here with the extraordinarily talented Brian Kennedy in his really cool Van Nuys home, complete with its own recording studio and speakeasy. You can just imagine the jam sessions that take place here. Thank you for inviting us into your home and for all the amazing music you make, not just great music, but music that heals.
Well, thank you for coming, first of all. And yes, you're welcome. I love doing this. It's what I love to do.
There was a time not too long ago where you thought, I am done. My career's over. And here you are. It's like the comeback of the century. Is that how it feels?
It feels like that. It feels like a resurrection, feels like a renewal. It just feels like it's time again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't think I was gonna get this feeling back, so I feel amazing.
You know, for everyone to truly understand the journey that you've been on, we've got to take them back. Your mom said you'd listen to music on the TV and radio, and then you'd be able to play it perfectly on the piano?
Yes.
It was a gift.
It was a gift. I tell people, 5-year-old kid, curious, auntie of mine needed to put a piano in storage for the church. And we had enough room in our house. And there's something about 88 keys and just seeing it, and I was just banging. So I said, let me get you piano lessons.
Is it true the teacher said you had no talent?
Yeah, she was like, he's not focused. Maybe my brother should be the one. And so I was kind of like kicked out of lessons.
But then you played by ear, and you were self-taught?
Yes, I started replicating all the tracks that I heard on the radio, and it just became like a hobby that turned into something more.
You not only play the piano, but a number of instruments, and I love what you said. You said that music is a way you express yourself and that the instruments are an extension of you, and you called it a sonic reflection of your character.
Yes.
What does that mean, a sonic reflection of your character?
I call it a spiritual ID. It's like the way you express yourself through art, whether it's music, whether it's painting, whether it's interviewing, it shows you like really who you are, and I would say in God's perfection. Because we're, as humans, we're not perfect, but through our gift and God's conversations, we become what He made us to be.
From a very young age, you felt that way? You said when you play, it's like having conversations with God?
Yes. I never understood the magnitude of like why I would feel or get these chill bumps, my hairs would stand up, and people would respond to it. So I was like, oh, okay, this is deeper. And again, I'm not understanding it from a logical standpoint. So I had a very emotional maturity at a young age.
You say when you write a song for someone, you literally are doing the musical identity of what you feel for them?
Yes,
oh my
for
gosh.
sure. Unless labels like, we need this for that. And I say, all right, I'm gonna trick them into doing that. Because when it's authentic, you feel it.
Yeah, you have to push back on the industry to do your thing, right?
Got to.
At 20 years old, you moved from Missouri. Did I say that right?
You said it right. You said like you're from Missouri. That's the real
Honey,
way to
I've
say
traveled,
it.
I know. So you came here to LA, you were chasing your dream. People started to hear about your talent when word got around, and you played backup for Babyface and Timbaland.
Yeah, that was insane. People started hearing about it, about like this young kid with this band, and they would say, well, come to the studio. And like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna show up. So I started learning kind of hands-on experience.
And you were bold and
for sure.
unafraid, because apparently you were walking in one working room in a recording studio at one time, and Ciara was coming out, the artist, and you heard she was looking for a new sound, and you got the nerve to go, here's my demo?
For sure. I was like, oh, okay, I don't know you. I said, but by the way, I have a demo, and I said, I'm gonna give it to you. And so I left. The publisher at the time called me and said, hey, what did you do? So I thought I did something wrong. She's like, she loved what you did. Come back. And that's where it started.
From there, you got your big break in 2006 because you co-produced and co-wrote My Love on Ciara's Evolution album.
Yes.
Now you're gonna miss my love.
That was the one. So after that happened, I was like, I'm a platinum producer. I don't have, where's the money? I was like, what's going on? Then I started learning about the business of it, and that started parlaying me into other sessions.
Like with Rihanna.
Yes,
Forever.
that was the boldest move I've ever made in the industry.
Tell me about it.
Meet Rihanna, who's a goddess of a person. She's a sweetheart. She's amazing. She's in the studio. I'm in the studio. You know, I don't have a demo on me yet, but I hear she's looking for a song. So I say, okay, hey, I'm Brian. You know, I'm from Kansas City. I'm a producer. I'm fumbling this. And I say, well, I took her phone from her, gave her my number. And Chris Brown was like, hey, play the piano for her before you leave. So I played the piano for her. She's like, you can just see the demeanor. It's like, okay.
You got the goods.
So I went home and I composed Disturbia. Within
How did
15
you even come
minutes,
up with it?
I was channeled because after I met her, I was like, I'm not missing this target. I was like, what can I do that's not the same? So I just went straight up techno, whatever. I was like electric dance, and I did the track, went back to the studio, ran into another producer before I saw Rihanna, and he's like, what do you have in your hand? I said, it's a demo for Rihanna. He said, play it. So I played it. He goes, this is trash.
He said that to you?
Yeah, he's like, this is trash. And he had a bigger name, and he's like, this is trash. So of course I'm like, let me go home. As I'm walking out, Chris Brown walks in and said, oh, this is the demo you got. Just snatched it from me. He's like, thank you. I'm gonna play it for Ree later. Later on that night, he called me. He said, hey, she loved it. Come back to the studio. I think we got something.
How
And
big a hit was that?
number one. It was number one. Right after 2, so I did Forever for Chris Brown. So it was like, whoa. It happened within, and I remember my brother was like, this is the biggest hit. This is the hit. This is gonna change your life. I was like, I need it now, and it happened.
And when you won your 4 Grammys,
Yes.
how did that feel? Did you feel like, wow, I made it?
Yes, so I'm on top of the world, things are flowing. I'm like Grammy parties, meeting people, hanging out with like, it was me, Sylvester Stallone, Dick Wolf, the Hiltons. I'm like, what am I doing here?
And then the floodgates kind of opened for you in the music industry. You were working with Rascal Flatts, and you were working with Kelly Clarkson and Lady Gaga.
Jamie Foxx, Usher, Nelly, I mean.
You were in demand.
It was going down. During my, like, the 2 pop hits, I was like, I'm gonna move to Nashville and do country music. They was like, you know that you should stay here and get the getting while it's good. And I was like, I just wanna do something different. So I moved to Nashville.
You were succeeding in all genres. You weren't limiting yourself. You weren't labeling yourself as one
music
kind of
is one
music.
genre to me. It's just different expressions.
So here you are at the top of your game. Your career's on fire. And then you say you got these insane headaches. Describe to me what you were going through.
It was like migraines. I would wake up and I would feel like nauseous sometime, or just hazy, or I'm like, why do I feel off? And I'm only assuming because I'm working crazy hours. I was like, oh, it's because I'm working late. But it was mortifying, the way I felt.
You go to the dentist. They say, oh, your blood pressure's off the charts. They rush you to the emergency room.
The dentist was like, your blood pressure is way too high.
Yeah, that you are on the verge of a stroke.
Yeah.
And they do a biopsy, and they tell you you are in kidney failure, you have kidney disease.
My kidneys were failing for over a year.
And this is a good place to take a break, but when we come back, the biopsy that not only would change Brian Kennedy's life forever, but his music and the mission with music, when LA Stories comes right back. Welcome back to LA Stories, everyone. We are here with the amazing 4-time Grammy winner, Brian Kennedy, who at the peak of his career, working with the top artists in the business, learns he's very sick.
So it was FSGS. It's the most rare and aggressive form of kidney failure. I had scars on my kidney, and I had 10% function.
But you kept working, and you kept it a secret. Why?
I was just being typical macho man. I didn't want to put everything out. I thought that was the price of having the success I dreamed of. Like, well, it's just the balance. My life's in shambles as far as health, but my career is good. So if I say something to temper it, then maybe. So I didn't feel good about it.
You said you were living 2 lives. You spent, one day at the Grammys, the next day in the hospital, and that you were afraid to tell people, but when you did, they turned their backs on you?
Oh yeah, I started telling people like this is what's going on, and it was like, okay, cool. He might be inspiring, so let's switch gears,
Was that cold?
Yeah, it felt a little isolated. I had my family there for me, but even when you have the most supportive family like I do, I'm so fortunate and blessed, I still felt alone, and I started going through like these suicidal thoughts and got really depressed, didn't know it, but I would still pretend. I would put the mask on and be like, Grammy Award winner, producers here. And I was getting hits left and right, charts, breaking records, doing different things. But nothing felt stimulating except, when I played the piano and I sit home and I would just cry. I was so dramatic, for good reason.
You needed a kidney transplant.
Yes.
And you were like on that journey for 8 years, even though your brother, Kevin Seals, was a perfect match.
All my brothers and sisters was a perfect match.
So what happened here in LA that they turned you down?
I felt like maybe it's a little discrimination, maybe, I don't know. I didn't know the details, but I went to Kansas City and they were able to do it quickly. They was like, that's so strange. You have a living donor who's your brother, which is preferred in any case, and they won't do it. They was like, something's wrong with that. They didn't improve it.
Your brother, and you go to Kansas City, he gives you his kidney.
Oh, for sure. I asked him just like I would ask for a glass of water, like, yo, I need your kidney. He was like, okay, no problem, sure.
It was that simple.
He was like, whatever you need. Not even a question. How lucky am I for him to do that? It was an immediate difference.
There's this great picture of you both lying side by side in the hospital. How do you process that kind of gift when someone gives you a piece of themselves?
It's ongoing. Every day I find a new reason. I'm like, oh, I celebrate. I say, oh, thanks, Kevin. I always just forget. And every so often I might text him or something like, thanks for life. Because when things happen good and I see my kids and my family, I'm like, oh, thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Kevin. I'm here to see it. So it's an ongoing process of just understanding the magnitude of what life means and him giving that to me.
Yeah, what are the big takeaways when you have a life-threatening illness like that that really disrupts your dream?
Man, that's a good question. Honestly, to not take anything for granted. What kept me alive outside of just my kidney transplant was my mind state. I was overfilled with gratitude for life. I remember after the transplant, I went to a Grammy party and I was sitting back looking out. It was House of Blues and I was looking out and some guy was like, those cars look nice. I said, no, I'm just looking at the trees. I was just so full of just like nature. I'm like, this is better than this. And it was just a moment. I was over gratified for just life. I wasn't even thinking about music. I said, to heck with
the business side of it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna go live in a teepee somewhere, But I met my beautiful wife along the way, and so that was another thing that was keeping me, the parallel version of being grounded.
Yeah, your beautiful wife, Angelique, who is also a musician, and you had your baby, what, 3 months after the transplant?
Yes, 3 months after.
That was your
for
little
sure.
girl, and then you had a little boy. Now you're a beautiful family
Yes.
of 4.
And that was the hope. During the time before my transplant, I always say seeing Angelique was like a light was around her or something like that. And I told her, I said, hey, just so you know, before we take it any further, I might be leaving this. She was like, we can do this together. I got you. Like, let's figure it out. And then that started giving me more energy.
And when you said to her, with this beautiful young family, after everything you'd been through, said, I think I want to come back. What did she say?
Yeah, but she was with it. She was with it, cheerleading me on. She's like, all right, let's go. I said, all right.
And not only have you come back, you're coming back with some amazing music, but you've also started a foundation, which your wife now heads up.
Yes, so Hits to Healing, Health Equity and Music Education. During my experience of everything I went through, I saw all like the disconnects. I was like, if I can do this over again, I would change these things. And so I started working with American Heart Association, National Kidney Foundation, Northwest Kidney Center, NephCure Kidney Foundation. I said, hey, this is my thought. As a patient and an African-American male, because there's a disproportionate race between Black and brown, and the general scope of it, it's messaging, it's communication, it's let me tell my story and help build a bridge. So what we do is we reach, we teach, and we connect.
We're going to dive more into your foundation, Hits to Healing, H2H, and how you use music as medicine when LA Stories comes right back. Welcome back to LA Stories, everyone. We're here with the comeback kid, the extraordinary Brian Kennedy, coming back after a life-threatening illness to live his dream, starting a whole new chapter of his career. How does that sound?
Amazing. I'm like, who's this guy again?
I found it fascinating that when you finally decided to share your story on Instagram, and the response you got was overwhelming.
It was overwhelming. I realized people had questions that I didn't have answers to. And I said, okay, this is much deeper than sharing my story. I need to be in a position to help people with their journey.
So much so that you wanted to start a foundation, which now your wife leads, called Hits to Healing.
Yes, yes, indeed. Everyone loves music. I was like, oh, there's a way to put more purpose to the music I do. Because healing through music is what we do every day. But there's like research and there's data now that actually like music hertz and different frequencies really do affect our mood, our emotions, our energy.
In your own personal experience, you felt you were discriminated against, not given the proper care because you were Black.
Yes, because it was stereotype. Even when I went to the first hospital, one of the doctors was like, "Why are you at this hospital?" I was like, "Because I live down the street." I was getting harassed because people assume that like all Black people are poor, or, you know, because for obvious reasons, right? There's neighborhoods, there's all these structural breakdowns that doesn't serve the community. And I started realizing I was representing not only me, but a whole community. And that's a lot of pressure when you're the only Black person in the room. They say, so Black people do like to music, or Black people do like magic shows. I'm like, no, I'm just a person who like magic shows. I actually had someone say, if you close your eyes and hear him play the piano, you would think he was white. I was like, is that real? Yeah.
Your wife, she says that her pregnancy was traumatic.
It was very traumatic,
That
literally.
she felt that the doctors did not listen to her.
Like she was a lab experiment. But thank God that she knew how to speak up for herself.
And it matters sharing your experience because Black women have the highest maternal mortality rate in the U.S., almost 3 times the rate of white women. So your foundation is really hitting a nerve point on some structural racism within the healthcare system.
Yes, it is. And it's helping champions and allies come forward. And that's when we started working with other organizations. I'm like, oh, y'all really want to help? Well, listen close. This is how we do it. And we got task force. We got equity for all. And like, there's some real champions that want to do it.
And you've got these 2 H2H Hits to Healing labs that are opening in LA and in Kansas City.
Yes, yes, indeed. 18th and Vine Historic District to help educate, prepare, how to stay healthy, how to collaborate. All we need is the tools and the information, and then at least we can make better decisions from there.
So whether you're doing it for your foundation or you're doing it in your career, it's medicine.
It's all the same. It feels way different this time. I feel like I'm one with my gift. Because I used to say, just because we suffer doesn't mean our gifts suffer. And we still gotta press through, but I feel like I'm pressing through, but I'm also present, so twofold.
Brian's latest venture, the Feel So Good song, a collaboration with fellow musician and kidney warrior David Rush. It is a catchy anthem designed to launch the Play It Forward movement to raise FSGS awareness and empower others living with the disease.
This collaboration means so much to me because I get to utilize my skill set to reflect what I've been through.
You know, you speak about music in such an extraordinary way as frequency.
Yes.
And vibration, and that you can literally make musical notes, a composition of someone's identity and character and soul, and express it through your music. That's so extraordinary. So if we were going to do that on your essence and character right now, what song would that be? What genre of music would express who you are today?
Classical to contemporary to just crazy. But really, I think it'd be more contemporary, reflective, very paceful. I used to move very fast, and sometimes I still do, but I just feel calm. So it'd be calm, but steady.
And I understand you're going to grace us with a little piano today.
It's a song for you.
It is?
I'm going to play your aura now.
Describe my aura. I want to know the notes I'll be hearing.
Oh, you know what? I just got to play it for you. But it will be the most beautiful notes on the keys. I'll
Did
tell you
hear
that.
I mean, he's also very, very charming. All right. We're going to close out there with Brian Kennedy playing us out on his piano, the Prodigy from Kansas City. How lucky are we? Okay.
Ready?
God, I feel so honored.
I was getting to
Here
know
with the master.
For sure.
You're a magical, beautiful soul. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching another edition of LA Stories. I'm Giselle Fernandez. See you next time. Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.